We start then with breaking news. An 11-year-old girl who disappeared from her home in Bolton has been found. Police say that Fatuma Kadir travelled to London alone in the early hours of yesterday morning. Well, straight to Jemima Walker in the newsroom with more on this. Jemima, what more do we know?
Yes, so in the last few moments, really, a family friend of the Kadir family has told Sky News that she has been found safe and well in London. So we are waiting for confirmation from the police, but a family friend has told us that she's been found. They say that she's with police officers and she hasn't yet spoken to the family. And this news comes really just moments after Fatuma's parents and police gave an interview to reporters, really still, pleading for her, any information, pleading for her to come home, to just let them know she's safe. So this has all happened very, very recently. And in that interview, the parents were asked, had she seemed normal, what was going on? And they said everything had seemed completely fine. She was in the kitchen chatting to them before she left. But they said that information that was kind of emerging was that she had a real interest in sightseeing in London. So the parents say they didn't really know this, but her younger brother said that this is something he knew, and then they started looking in her school books, and this interest in sightseeing and going to the Tower of London and going to Buckingham Palace started to emerge. And that was something that was confirmed by DCI Paul Rowlinson when he was in the press conference. And obviously one of the kind of questions around this is, how did an 11-year-old girl get from London on Thursday evening? She was last seen in Bolton, arrived in London at 1 a.m, just after 1 a.m. How did she get there? How did nobody stop an 11-year-old girl? But what was emerging is that she told people that she'd seen a couple on the train, for example, that she was 15 years old and that she was going to visit her aunt in Tower Bridge. And people that had spoken to her and then spoken to the police said that this information was quite convincing, really, and although they thought it was a little bit strange, this story was convincing enough that she managed to get to London without anybody really being too alarmed. The other question, obviously, as well, is where did she sleep? Because she went missing on Thursday evening. It is now Saturday, but the police say that she did have a substantial amount of money with her, so she could have booked herself in a hotel. Another question, obviously, is why didn't she contact anybody? The police say that they believe her phone may have been broken because they think she asked a woman in London if she could hotspot off her phone. So a lot of questions still obviously surrounding this, but very good news for her family. In the press conference that they just gave, they were extremely emotional. Her father broke down in tears. So this news just in, very good news for everybody involved.